Hi, this is Arun from arunsyoga.in. I'm a software engineer who mostly work with Node.js, PHP, and other backend technologies. And I'm an open source contributor as well. I'm a tantric by birth in a family which is passing tantric wisdom from generations to generations, from past 2000 years of legacy, and got lucky to travel across India and got chances to study under various gurus from different backgrounds and disciplines. You could connect with me in arunsyoga.in. Here I'm helping you to design a divine lifestyle which is based on Vedic astrology, tantra, and other yogic system of understanding. Hi, in today's podcast, we are having a guest. Her name is Melissa. Melissa Lewis is a life coach, massage therapist, and a mom. Her adventurous nature and strong will have led her to overcome lifelong physical and emotional challenges. She shares her knowledge and experiences to help others overcome other facing difficult issues. She holds a business degree in marketing, has worked at luxury resorts and spas for 20 years, has coached professionally for a top 10 Fortune 500 companies, lives for travel and swears by minimalism. If you are interested in contacting Melissa regarding life coaching, please visit her website, which is www.angelsvoiceprana.com. In this podcast, we are speaking about religions of America, shamanic practices, spiritual practices, and her visions about all those stuff, and her chart as well, of course. So let's begin our Vedic reading series, episode number 14, Angels, Prana, and the Giggles. So, hi, Melissa, to be part of my podcast series where I'm trying to reach out most of the peoples all across the globe and trying to read their chart and how they manifest this astrological energy which is being surrounded with us, and the planets, that how they are influencing our daily life. And I'm trying to see whether there is something, like something is existing which is beyond our consciousness, and is there a way to go to that particular energy through some certain techniques, and things like that. And basically astrology comes along with the procedures of the yoga and the tantra, like meditation techniques and sounds, vibration, how we chant some certain kind of mantras and things like that, which helps us to reach that potent energy of the existentialism, or whatever. So yeah, and I think I have gone through your website and you are speaking about the energy of prana and things like that. Can you just talk about that? What do you mean by that, and how do you see that in your daily life, and how do you manifest that same energy in the things around you, and how you go along with that? Can you talk about that?
Well, I did not ever see myself writing a book, but after I got very tired out in a corporate toxic environment where they just wanted more and more out of me, I was literally had chronic illness my whole life, and I had to quit working. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't force myself to sit at the desk and talk to that many people and do that kind of work on and be micromanaged anymore. And then I went to see a psychic, and she gave me some suggestions as to writing some articles, putting my work out, the things that I knew. And she mentioned writing a book. And I was like, a book? What? That sounds like a lot of work. And then a special someone who I will not mention at this time, someone very influential, slid into my direct messages on Facebook and sent me a little bit of a cryptic message. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm writing a book. It was just a push from someone influential that said, you got to write the book. So I hunkered down and wrote the book. I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and I had just quit my job, but I got busy because that was the message that I heard, and I got the whole book written. I self-published it, I put it out there, and then I continued to move on to a dark night of the soul. And so I was pulled under big time by emotions, and I had spent my entire life on and off different types of natural and mainstream medications, and I knew that there was no medication that was going to fix this. So I needed to stop taking the meds and follow my path and literally listen to my intuition and ask for help along the way. I realized how important purification is to the spiritual practice, like clearing out everything, the TV, the toothpaste, the diet, cleaning out the diet, cleaning out like people around you that are sucking your energy. And really, I figured out, I just learned to listen to my intuition more and more and more. Mine, I never realized how strong it was. Because when you have a gift or something inside of you, you kind of don't realize when other people don't have it. But I have always followed my path, and it's always worked out. So I just kept doing. And then in August of 2019, I had a major spiritual awakening where Spirit came to me and told me, guess what? This is what the rest of your life is going to look like. And I was like, what? I'm just Melissa from Minnesota. They're like, no, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay. And so then that was the beginning of a Kundalini awakening, a big one. And that's going to be the topic of my second book, but it was very painful. I had to unrepress all of the repressed emotions that I've kept inside of me. I found a lot of deep, dark truths. And then now all my bigger gifts are opening. And I just really didn't realize how strong of a manifester I am, but now the synchronicities happen to me 5, 6, 7, 8. If I go out in public, I'll see 10, 12, 15 different synchronicities telling me, reconfirming what I was told in August of 2019. And I just laugh now. Like the things that even come out of other people's mouths are directly related to what I was told during my awakening. And I didn't even tell them anything. They're just saying it to me. And I'm like, this is powerful stuff. So I do like automatic writing and channeling that way. And I channel a lot of my own answers. A lot of other things, people who are going to help me will pop up and manifest right into my life. And I've just gotten very good at deciphering the clues. And I'm just really digging more into, basic ritualistic practices that more people should be using. Even just simple things like crystals, sage burning, candles, these basic things that we have lost in America because we followed a mainstream objective instead of following a path with spirit.
Actually, in America, if I'm not wrong, there was some kind of indigenous people like Red Indians. Their
Yes.
practice where actually go very synchronized with the nature around US and stuffs like that. Um, and the shamanism, especially with this indigenous Red Indians, which goes along with them. So do you see a synchronicity of your practices that is getting connected to the understanding of the indigenous Red Indians of US? How do you feel about that?
Yes, and so part of this awakening experience, there were symbols of me helping to reclaim the power and the helping to heal what we have done with these Native Americans. And honestly, when I first found out about it, I could barely even look at it because the feelings were so deep, like so deep for the Native Americans that I didn't push it away, but I was like, don't even come near me right now because I felt it so deeply that I'm like, it hurts too much. I need to heal more before you can even look at that. So I feel like I'm sure I probably was one of those Native Americans in my past if I feel that pain that deeply. But I know that at some point my work will involve helping the Native Americans heal from what the mainstream Americans have done to them.
You're gonna help the indigenous Americans or the mainstream Americans? I'm not trying
Well,
to put,
I'm
I'm not trying to be
yeah,
become
it's
racist
okay.
over here. What I'm trying to say, like what you are trying to say is what I'm trying to see.
So I'm going to help the mainstream Americans awaken to realize what they've done to the previous people and how we can resolve the conflict of what they've done, because many of them are not awake enough to see what they've done. So I'm going to work with both sides, really. I'm going to wake up the mainstream Americans so they can realize what they've done and help resolve those wounds. That's really what we're here for, to awaken consciousness, is to open ourselves up to the resolution of what we need to do now, of what we've done in the past, and how we heal those wounds and move forward and help the people we've harmed.
So is there indigenous Americans are still existing in US
Oh,
presently?
absolutely. Yes,
Do
so in the area I live in Minneapolis, so what a lot of them are very sick. They're not well because we've stolen their vibration of life, you know. They can't hunt on their lands because we have houses here. You know, we've what we've done is we've opened casinos and given them huge pieces, you know, monetary funds from the casinos, but that's not really helping them. I mean, it's helping them somewhat, but you know, some of the things they're still so have deep wounds that money isn't going to fix all of it. You know, they need inner healing too, and so we're going to have to work together with them. But yes, there's Native Americans living all over the place here, and they're not thriving, and they should be.
how do I feel is this in this way? Never feel like I'm objecting you. What I am seeing is that when you are getting connected with the nature around you, or the Shakti, or the Kundalini energy, or the divine feminine is getting awoken on you, you feel like you will be become the part of the nature. So it's like it's sacred tea. Ayahuasca is the sacred tea of the shamans which we take, and it's basically transcendent your own ideas into something which is very so deep, and it's help us to connect to the nature. So I'm speaking from my own experience, when I was taking ayahuasca, this was happened to me. It's like it goes very so deep, and I feel a kind of ecstasy which is actually beyond the limitations of the mind or society or whatever. So do you really feel the indigenous peoples need to be get healed, or the people so called uh, the city people, or the moral people, or do they need to get healed? How do you see about
Everybody does. Everybody does, because everybody's suffering. You know, I feel like we're all on the planet together for a reason, so everybody needs healing. Wouldn't you say?
okay, imagine somebody according to your idea, like somebody is healed and somebody is not healed. uh, what is the quality of the person who is not healed? What could be the quality of the person who is healed?
So and you know, healing is really a journey. You know, I can't say if anyone's ever really done, right? Or you wouldn't be on this planet, because if you were healed in that aspect, you maybe wouldn't become human. But anyway, um, what I'm seeing right now is people judging and people saying, no, it's this person's fault and it's this person's fault, and it's not my responsibility to have empathy towards the past. I didn't have anything to do with it, and you know, it's that me and blaming other people mentality, you know. And then, like, maybe if the Indians, Native Americans would have get a job in an office like me, they wouldn't be suffering. Doesn't work like that. You know, it's that kind of mentality, like, because now we've got a dire situation here in America, and there's not a lot of people that have a good security in all areas of their life. Everybody needs healing or some sort of inner work on some area at some point in their lives. That's what we're here for, is to evolve. So healing is really, you know, evolving, and we need to learn to all work together.
Tell me a single quality of a person who is healed.
um, More empathetic and more open to seeing someone else's path, even if it doesn't directly align or help your path. So seeing the values in other humans, even when they can't benefit you, or possibly when they're going against something you're saying, you can still take that as true for them, but not true for you.
So for instance, I feel I have a certain feeling that the Native Americans has this quality, empathy.
Yeah.
So would you rather say they are already healed? I'm not trying to
Well,
puzzle you. I mean, I.
yeah, they have some deeper spiritual values, and living in the way the society is here now, they can't really, I mean, some of them might be living the life that they want in the spiritual way they want, but many of the Native Americans currently are living in a place of unhappiness, and they're not in alignment with what their soul's telling them to do because of the modern man's practices. So yeah, they have a deeper spiritual connection, but maybe they can't flourish in society the way it's set up right now. I mean, many
Uh,
of them are on Indian reservations suffering from the wounds because we stole their land. We stole their vibration of life. We took their land and built our cities on it. And does this make sense?
Yeah, what I'm see, the thing is like probably today's terrorist could be tomorrow's freedom fighter. If you see the time as this way, so there is nothing to be like feel sad about that. We took the land of the Native Americans or whatsoever, because time might be.
Yeah,
Time need to be
it's all
act in that way in that particular point of time. That could be
true.
the
Yeah,
you know
I
uh,
agree. Completely
so
agree.
and also I'm a corporate person also. I write programs and I write softwares and I work with the startups and stuffs like that. uh,
Yeah,
and if we have some kind of deep intuition, this is gonna help us to overcome a lot of problems that come across the uh, corporate world, which
yes.
it comes across. So
Yeah,
as if we are taking the reality into practicality or tactical sense, if we are taking the reality, uh, your prana awakening techniques or the things which you are trying to put forth in a scale of 10, how much it is going to help the person.
it depends on the person and where they're at. Honestly, truly, when I worked in the corporate environment, I was a wellness coach. So I was talking to people about what they wanted to do to better their lives. I mean, there are so many tools out there. Um, it depends on the person and where you're at and what your awareness is and how willing you are to find a practice that works for you and put those things into place. So I truly believe that everybody has choices as to what practices or what way they want to do it. I see myself as more of a sharer of what could happen to you if you develop a modern spiritual practice that many people that are in, I would say, closer to my social group don't practice on a daily basis. So I'm like an encourager of finding a spiritual path, creating that path that works for you, whatever that might be, because there's a ton of different tools and a ton of different teachers and a ton of different ways to do it. But my message is basically find a spiritual path, stick with it, and keep working on it, because that's what's going to get you through some tough times. It's what every religion says anyway, is to find a path that works for you, and do your meditation, your purification, and keep on your path, and build your ideals and keep sticking with them and keep digging into yourself, because the secrets are inside and the answers are inside too.
So can you describe any practice which is related to your what is the name of the technique which you are using, the prana healing?
Well, my main one that I'm great at that I like to teach people do is the journaling. So a daily journaling where you can decipher the clues of your feelings and realize what that meant for you, and then be able to pick your next steps from what you've written. Because I started keeping journals a couple of years ago, and sometimes I'll even intuitively just grab an old notebook and be like, okay, I want to find a page of something I need to refer back to either give me strength today or help me move forward or make me realize how far I've come even when I'm having a bad day. And I'll literally open the notebook, and the message that I wrote to myself in the past is what I need to hear today. So I'm teaching people how to get their thoughts and feelings out onto the paper and be able to decipher the clues of what that means so they can take the directional steps to where they need to go.
Um, can you you are using kind of candles and some kind of things like that in your everyday life? How do you see that? Like, are you offering it to a secondary entity like a god or goddesses or some other kind of energy, or you are trying to offer it for your own self? Or how do you see that?
Well, I love to use aromatherapy oils, so I am constantly diffusing in my house.
Mhm.
And I believe that creates a healthier space for me energetically. And it's a big thing here using the aromatherapy oils. Some people make it into a more complicated thing. I literally just go to the store, sniff a couple bottles, and I intuitively pick which one I need next. And then I diffuse that for a week or two, use it in baths. I mean, there's a lot of power in these oils because these oils have the immune system of the plant. And when you combine several of these practices, purifying your body, using the journaling, using the oils or the candles. I mean, I like candles too when I do my journaling. But I mean, even for Americans to turn off their artificial lights in the evening and put on candlelight, many people don't realize that that is something that's going to induce the correct hormones inside your body to help you sleep deeply and to have the energy to come to you to heal and to do your journaling and to open up your awareness to see what you need to see that you haven't seen before. That's why most religions use candles. You don't just have to use them there. You can use them in your own home, and it's simple. I mean, I see a lot of online businesses making this much more complicated and expensive than it needs to be. And really, you can do a lot of this yourself if you just turn the TV off, put the candles on, clear your energy, and give yourself some time to really let these new ideas and energy come to you.
Let's go for your chart. You want to say
Yeah,
something?
great.
Yeah. I'll just share you the screen.
You've done a lot of work and extensive work with the chart, and pardon me, but I don't know what it means. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your assessment.
Okay. So, uh, so you can actually, did you got a printout of the
Yeah,
chart which I have sent you?
yes.
Uh,
Yep, I did. I looked through all of it and all the links.
so basically, the chart is like a blueprint, like how the planets are actually uh, revolving around us and how it is helping us to get liberated. Basically, in astrology, what we see is that all the prana or all the things which is in our body is actually seeking for a liberation from all the bondages and things like that. So basically, this is something is like a key which is actually gonna help you to uh, um, come out, I mean get liberated from the all the whatever it is, like to something else. So this is your nakshatra is Kartika nakshatra. So this is the one thing which we start with. So the Kartika nakshatra, particularly this uh, nakshatra is like it's a group of stars. When you get birth, there will be ascendant will be in a particular direction. In that particular area, there will be a group of stars, and based on that group of stars, your life quality will be decided. So this particular stars are gonna talks about you. I mean, what it is actually, how it is actually manifest in your life. We could actually see. Um, so there is a tropical tree, like this is a tropical tree, which is actually resonate the same frequency of your own soul, like where we can see in the indigenous peoples of America, that red Indians, they are more about the nature. They know to talk to the nature, they know to connect to the nature directly. So basically this thing, what it does is like it is actually uh, resonate the same frequency of your own soul. So what it does is like if you go near to this particular tree, it can actually communicate with you. So this is how that particular tree looks like, and this is how the stars will looks like on the sky. If you look at on the sky, the particular group of nakshatra of your chart will be like distributed like that on the sky. So this is how the group of stars will looks like, and this particular star falls into Asuragana. Asuragana means it's a demonic nature. How does it manifest in your chart is like you have a demonic nature which is actually like manifesting through you. Like how does like it's not exactly demonic like in the way which Christianity put into, I mean the
Right?
single god religions, like they don't believe that there are other gods, or they don't see, I mean they only see there is only one god. Actually that is actually like it is actually closing people's mind into and getting into a stigma, you know. So all the religions which actually states the uh, there is only one god, those religions can't understand what this is. Actually this is the uh, this quality manifests in your life in the way that you try to control things, you
Yes.
know. This is actually make problem troubles in your life. So
Yes.
this is how the Ashragana works manifest in your life, you know.
Yes, I would completely agree.
Maybe you are
And
in the core.
part of my path is to learn how to let go of some of those things so I can receive what I deserve.
Maybe probably you were into corporate that time you could be become like, oh, you were a boss or what?
No, I was a wellness coach, but I'm also a mom of three kids, and I've always been very protective of my children and what they're exposed to for their own, for the good of them. And I've just been, when I say control, I'm just care so much about, you know, making sure my children are safe and that I have the things that I need, and that kind of control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or
um,
also having I've also been very drawn to a lot of, I have a lot of different educational, certificates, or I've been to college, I was massage school as a wellness coach, so I'm very drawn to control through some intellectualism,
how do
always
you put it?
needing to be smart, needing to be intuitive, needing to know just a little bit more than the people around me so I can outsmart them if I need to.
Yeah, basically, the astrology is a blueprint. Like what it says is like you have to actually go for you what you want in your life. You know, that is the
Yes.
way to liberation. That is
Yeah.
what that's. I mean, if you really strongly work for your own life, it's actually good for others also automatically.
Yes. Absolutely. That's what I've always done. I've always tried to do the things that are good for me and the people around me, and be a good role model.
You
So,
actually don't have to
um,
care the people around you. Like if you are doing the best thing for your own self, it's automatically synergy. There will be a synergetically, it is actually suitable for the others around you, you know.
yes, you're right.
So rajasic nature. So how does this manifest? Is like you will be like you are happy to put some little spice into your life, so that will actually create ecstasy on you. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Huh. So your Buddha is Earth, Prithvi. You are a good mother.
Yeah,
You can be a good mother because you are like planet Earth. You know, she is a
yeah,
very good mother. Planet Earth is a very good mother. So your planet, your Buddha is Earth. So this will actually help you to become a very good mother. And
yep. I have three kids, and one of them is almost 18. So I am pulling back from my mothering journey on that one. I mean, you're always a mother, but in America, 18 is really the letting go stage.
so you have the Shakti part, like in our body, there is half men and half woman. So the half woman is like the Shakti part on your body. So these kind of people, what they are creative people. They can appreciate beauty. They can resonate beauty on their life, and they can bring the beauty to their life, and they can become creative. So this Shakti part or the feminine quality is more on you, like rather than that of the motherly nature. Also with the Shakti. So yeah, you are a very good woman, like very much feminine quality. I mean, not a feminist, what I am trying to say, but
Yes, I
like
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
So you have a Kaba nature. So how does it manifest in your life? Is like the Kaba nature will actually manifest, make you to more sensitive to cold. So cold related diseases could arise on your body. And
Oh,
what is that?
you are so right about that, sir. You are so I live in Minnesota. That's a very, very cold climate. And what did I do when I turned 18? I went straight to the bottom of the country to the most tropical place that I could find and went to college there. Do you see this?
So you have a fire also inside, deep inside. You can you have a fire that could actually burn things upside down. So that is one quality. You can actually completely burn everything happened in your life, and you can easily start something new from the point where everything is got burned. You know.
Yes, I do.
So there is a Kriya, there is a 30 minutes yoga which is associated with this Kartika Nakshatra. So this yoga, this particular yoga will actually help you to accelerate the prana or the kundalini, whatever you say. This will actually help you to accelerate that thing and make that process much more deeper. So that is something which help you on the Kartika Nakshatra.
Wonderful. I have spent many years doing yoga, but not this particular type. So, what a
The
lovely.
video is there. Video is there on this particular link. You can log in to this website, and you can see the videos are there. And there is 30 minutes of the yoga. That is yoga. Then there is kriya. Yoga and kriya is two different things. Like
Mhm,
yoga helps you to evolve, and kriya helps you to accelerate.
wonderful.
So, for instance, there is a lot of sexual energy, like Kundalini energy is so much on us. So, this thing has to be channelized in a proper way. Otherwise, it
Hmm.
will actually blast us. So,
Hmm.
that is energy. So, to work with a particular energy, Kriya is being used. To hold this energy in the body need to be into some certain shape. Body need to be in some certain uh, feeling, and it has to be healthy. That is why yoga is there. So
Hmm.
yoga and kriya has to be performed like one another, with along with that. um, so this is the there
Oh,
is
oh, oh, oh.
uh, so basically this is like there is sexual type. Okay, there are 12 sexual types on according to our chart. There are 12 sexual type. From that, your sexual type is like mesha is like ram. Okay, so this is the sexual type you are into. So this is the these kind of things will actually I mean, this particular act of sexuality help you to get more intimacy with your partner. So this is with the Kama Sutra thing. It's related to that. Um, and, yeah. So this is all about your nakshatra. So now we are gonna to look at on your chart. Do you have any question about your nakshatra in this particular point?
I don't know enough about what I've read to even ask you questions. That's why this is so wonderful.
No, I mean, you got an overall idea of how the nakshatra will manifest in your life, right?
Hmm.
Um, so in the first house, have you gone through the thing like the box? This one, you have the printout of this particular chart with you.
Hmm.
You have.
Well, I don't know what any of it means, so I've looked at it, but we don't teach the fundamentals of these types of things that you're saying. So I, I'm American. I don't know what any of this stuff means, so I'm opening up to what you're telling me.
Nobody teaches all these things basically. Like
Right.
I'm trying to reach out people at least and try to see how it's resonate in their life, and
Yeah.
try to put it in a book format so that you can see that there are so many people are there already in my book of in my diary of the uh, uh, cost for the release or the relief or whatever. So there is
Hmm.
so many peoples already. So those chapters we can go through and listen through, and it could be like a material for people to study, you know.
Hmm.
So that is the one thing. So the first house, so if you look at on this particular chart, there are 12 houses. All these houses, one house is 30-degree each, and this is the 12 direction. So let us come to how it's manifest into your life. Okay, so there is another podcast which I have done with the Sheila, where we are trying to see the fundamental similarities and differences with the Western astrology and Eastern astrology. So this is Eastern astrology, and there is something like Western astrology also there. So there is one more podcast I can share with you that later. So there is Tanu. Tanu is the first house. There is you can see there is Mercury is staying on the first house. So how does it manifest in your life? I can blindly say that you will be a very talkative person.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
Mercury is the planet which is associated with the speech, and that is staying on the first house. So yeah, of course, first house is like yourself. So oh no, oh yes, you say all this.
Everything. I say it all the time. Yes,
So
you're
that is
right. Completely. Do you see how that and the whole tiger, whatever you called that, do you see how those two might cause a little disruption on the planet? If you've got someone with that nature of the what was the picture of the tiger
Which one?
that we just covered?
Oh yeah, the demonic nature,
Yeah,
Asuragana.
can you see how that mixed with the Mercury could be used with the fire to wake up consciousness? Can you see the connection of how those three aspects could work
So it will
really
be
well
like,
together?
it will be like so intense talking to
Yeah,
you.
that's right. Can you see how that works together?
Yeah, it will be fun.
I could see why some people might be repelled from me in certain situations intuitively, like, this lady is going to tell me something that I don't want to know. And I'll be like, hi, I'm just such a sweet, nice, feminine lady. And they're like, that's not the vibes I'm getting. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm an earth mother. I'm the mother of 3 children. How bad could it be? And they're like, my vibe's saying, stay away. See?
On the third house, there is Rahu is staying. So Rahu is the obsession. Okay, the planet which is associated with the obsession. So that is your fundamental nature, Sahaja Bhava, which comes comes with your.
You are laughing now because now you're seeing my chart and you're like, oh my God, this lady, what she was born into. Are you seeing it now? Look how you're laughing.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. It will be like, but it will be
Are you
funny.
seeing this now? Look at you. Look at you. Now you look at my chart and you're like, this lady, what's she have in her chart? It's like you just opened your first magazine when you were a little kid going, ah, what's going on here? What did the gods do when they sent her in here like this?
No, but
You can't stop.
no, but as you are a mother, I mean the earth, so inside you will be soft, you know. That
Yeah.
also has been said in. Yeah, but all these qualities are very nice. It will be like very fun.
I think I'm fun.
Come on. So there is Jupiter that is staying on the 8th house. 8th house is the Rendra house, which means that the house of enemy. So Jupiter is the planet of wisdom.
Mm.
So
You are laughing. You are laughing at my chart right now because you're like, oh my God, what do we have here?
no, I mean to say like there is some kind of certain knowledge which could act as an enemy for you. You know, if you don't watch it out, it could be act as an enemy for you.
Interesting. Care to share any more insights?
So we are gonna look at on your chart much more. Moon, Mars, and Ketu staying on your 9th house, which is your Dharma house. So like Moon is associated with the mother, and Mars and Ketu. Mars is associated with your physical strength and war and stuffs like that. Then Ketu is the planet of the more in your case it's like occult understanding or the occult
Yeah.
energies which is comes across. So this is staying on the ninth house. So there could be a possibility that your mother may not be liking uh, your intense feel toward the occult things and stuff like that you want to pursue.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that.
So that is
Yep.
something which I mean it's mother may not be liking it doesn't mean that as a
No, no,
being
no,
she
no.
is
You got it right. You
as
got
a
it right.
being, yeah, as a being she is
It's okay.
not liking it, but
No,
is
no, she's
not a,
not.
yeah, it's like it's her mind is always tricky because it may not be able to
Yeah.
see the reality.
Yes, you've got that right. Don't backtrack. You've got that completely right. And like you said earlier, it's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So Saturn is the labha. Um, Labha is the something which comes to your life. I mean, what you get out of all these things, it's hard work. Like
Mm.
probably your dharma, which could be made you to karma. Um, One second. First, Mercury. Mercury is looking at on the karma. So yeah, your talkative made you to work much more harder in your life that you could been actually uh, could be you could have reduced it.
Yeah, that would have been helpful many times in my life, sir. Yes. Saying less would have been more many, many times in my life. I agree with you. But my corporate job, that's what I did all day long for 8 hours is talked. And I never got sick of it, ever. I loved every minute of it. Every minute of it. So there's the good side.
And Sun and Venus is staying on the 12th house. Is your father is alive?
Pardon?
Your father is alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Sun and Venus is staying on the 12th house, which means that your father could help you to, I mean, your father could be your helpful shoulder for you. Like,
You don't say.
what?
That's interesting. That's interesting.
How was the relationship with your father?
Uh,
Oh, no,
well,
no, no, no.
some new
This talkative lady is coming to me. No, no.
some new discoveries have come to light, let's say, and the way he's helped me is maybe not the way we all think of help, but I get what you're saying.
um, so, yeah. So Rahu and Ketu is the two high energy planet in your chart, which means that you are so obsessive and so transcendental also.
Yeah, you got that right.
So that is because the Rahu and Ketu is very strong on your chart. So there is two Rudrakshas, which is 8 phase and 9 phase Rudrakshas, which is for the Rahu and Ketu. So this will accelerate this particular quality of your chart, which comes with the sacred geometry, which goes along with these two. That could help you to become accelerate these two quality on your life, and it will actually give you the um, come to the release much more faster, or what we call it's like moksha.
Is this related to why I manifest so easily and quickly, or is that something else?
Like what you're asking?
This energy, this high energy, is that something related to how I can manifest so well, or is that not related?
This is how you manifest, like Rahu and Ketu, so together, like occult understanding and obsession, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes sense. What are you laughing at?
No.
Why are you laughing? Because you're seeing this chart with basically holes burned through it, going, how is this lady functioning on a daily basis with this chart set up? Is that what you're thinking?
No. I mean, it's like, it's funny, like
Yes.
I was just imagining you are into your own life, like you are talkative here, there, and you it looks like really funny.
Well, I right now one of my favorite obsessions is pretty much witty, sarcastic comments on Facebook to try to wake people up. So, or Facebook or whatever social media I'm on. And so, like, I just love to find the perfect comment or compliment to a thread that someone else has started, or, I just like to wake people up with witty, like, strong, opinionated, and, like, truthful type content. I'm not going to be the one that's like, if there's something really funny or really interesting going on around consciousness or current events, I'm not going to be the one that's going to go, that's not going to be what I say. I'm going to find something witty, strong, something that's going to wake people up and make people laugh. That's what I'm going to say. Can you imagine with a chart like this being my children?
Yeah, that's what all
Look at you. Can you imagine being my child with a chart like this?
I'm talking. That's why I was laughing from the beginning. It will be like really funny.
And then maybe someday you'll read my book and you'll just laugh the whole way through it because you can see my stars underneath there.
So Rahu. So it's like 18.5. So by the age of 18, you came into that Rahu. That is where you are. Yeah. When do you see that yourself? When do you say that yourself you got awoken? Like 18?
Well, so by 16 I started manifesting. So I was from a lower middle class family, and nobody had been to college. But somewhere through this energy that's in my chart, I decided that I was going to go to college across the country, and I manifested the entire trip, and I was already down in school before my 18th birthday.
So from the age of 18, there is Rahu comes into your chart. So it is like from the age of 18, it will be like obsessive.
It's what?
It will be like obsession. Obsession comes into your life, and in which area it actually exactly manifests. I'm just gonna look up
So,
on it.
so then, are you asking me what happened in my life at 18
No,
after that?
I'm just
Oh,
yeah.
you're just
You
telling
you
me. Okay.
you're you started to manifest your own self from the age of 18 completely, and it was like very obsessive.
Yeah, so when I was 18, I was down in college, and I didn't have, my family never had anyone in college before, so it was pretty much me getting myself all the way through 4 years of college. And I'm very sensitive too, so I had some physical problems. And then I went straight into massage school. Then I went straight into a job at Walt Disney World being a massage therapist. So I did all that within about 6 years, college, massage school, yeah, all by myself. And I was only, what, 21 when I was done with that, 22?
So
What do you typically see when people come into their true self? Is that really usually an older age, or what do you usually see?
like for some people it happens very young age. Some people's awakening happens. Some people's get birth with the enlightenment, like you know.
Yeah, that is true. We have a little boy in Minneapolis that was, I don't know what they classify him, but he moved, he started his, I think, training to be a monk, and was left his parents and moved across the world. And he used to live right in this area, the town over from me,
Where in US.
Minneapolis.
So what is this Atlas? I don't know what it is.
What is what?
What?
What is Minneapolis?
Yeah.
It's Minnesota. We border Canada. What else would you know Minnesota from? It's cold. It's north of Illinois, where Chicago is. It's like the second most prominent Midwest city after Chicago.
Okay. So can I ask you, like, you started writing, reading and writing probably could be started after the age of 36 or 37.
Yeah, that's right around the time when I started writing the book.
So that is where the Jupiter starts. It's a planet of wisdom. So the thing is like, if you don't look at it into clearly, it could act against you because it stands on the enemy house. And probably 36 or 37, you could have broken up your relationship or something like that. Almost.
Oh, yeah, yeah, so I got a divorce. Yeah. I got a divorce because I was with my twin flame, and I was the empath and he was the narcissist. And we got a divorce, and then I wrote the book after that. Yes, that's
So
what happened.
that is something like 36, 37.
Yeah, that's right around the time that all started to happen. I'm 45 now, so all that's done.
Yeah. No, I was just going through your past. I
Yeah,
mean, what I am seeing, I
yeah.
mean,
And I'm just reflecting to you that's exactly, I'm basically what you're telling me. I'm like, yes, and this is how it manifested, and this is what happened. Yeah, completely.
yeah, this is basically almost everything about your chart. Um, I mean, do you want to ask anything or say something, or do you have any questions on this reading apart from laughing?
I don't know. Do you have any more reflections on a person? What your interpretation of a person with a chart like this is?
uh, One thing is like I will just go through your nakshatra. Mm. So one thing you can practice the particular yoga of your nakshatra. So what happens? It will actually help you to to clear all these bondages which comes in your chart, like generally wisdom helps people to go in their path, but in your case the wisdom comes is like it's working against you, so it's like you just need to watch on what is that happening on that particular area. I mean to say it's like I mean that is the probability, but I'm not trying to scare you or anything. I'm just trying to tell you, like I mean, yeah.
And I also think that possibly that so I had gifts that I had to close when I was younger because I was not in an environment that I could use the gifts or that they would be appreciated, and they were hurting me. And I was very hesitant to wake them up because of society and pain in my wounds and a lot of different reasons. I'm kind of thinking that maybe that's what you're talking about, because I have this deep intuitive wisdom and all these gifts inside of me, but I refused to open them for many reasons, which I think were pain, and I'd have to open up my wounds and I'd have to resolve all my wounds, and then I'm going to be the gifts that those are opening. There's a lot of people that aren't ready to see that, and it's hard to live in a world when it's hard to live in a world when you're really, really intuitive and you can see everything that's going on and nobody else sees it. I think that
Yeah,
is
it's
a
yeah, that
huge
is the,
problem for me.
yeah, it's actually
And
a problem
that
for
is
me.
makes
Yeah.
that makes it difficult for me to even walk out in the world, because I can see clues and see things on other levels, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, you don't say they hired someone else at your job and they have the same job description as you, and you don't think that means that you're not going to be working there anymore? Like, just stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, I won't actually tell you that you're not going to be working there anymore and you're training in your replacement, but that's stuff like that.
So that
I
is
think
something you have to look at on there in that particular area. And also the yoga will the yoga which is actually to be with goes along with your nakshatra, which actually helps you to be to make your body to fit into that particular energy that your body is carrying. Also that kriya can help you to accelerate that energy on you. If you have any problems regarding that thing, you can actually text me, how to do the yoga and things like that.
great. Well, this was enlightening and wonderful. And it's, I've been to many people who have read my energy in different ways, but I've never had someone more traditional like you with using the Indian principles to see. So I have a somewhat of an understanding of my chart and how these things have manifested in my life, but seeing it from your perspective is much more in depth than anything that I've had before. And like I said, I live in a place with a lot of Indians, and I think that any kinds of these types of things are good for people to, because not all the things in someone's chart are what society thinks are positive, right? But we need to learn that we need to find a way to make them a positive aspect of our journey in this particular
Yeah, if we
incarnation that
can,
we're in.
if we can understand our chart correctly, and if we are reading it very properly, actually we could use those things in our daily life, like and ultimately we can make our life much more easier also to get liberation, also the final
Yes,
moksha or the final release or the final ecstasy or the final whatever whatsoever, you know.
totally. Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree. And that is why I'm in the same type of field of business that I'm in. Is this is what
Hmm.
people need more than anything else, even if they think they need some material thing. We're both in the same business of encouraging people to look into themselves to find those gifts that they're meant to bring into the
Yeah,
world.
it's a better business also, because it's there are people can sell many things, like they can sell drugs. The drugs, selling of the drugs also is fine, but if it is harming the other person, like weapons, hatred, all those things are bad business. Why people has to do that thing? Let us celebrate the business of love, no?
Well, we live in a life of polarity, and we're upon the Great Awakening here. So those of the people that were doing those kind of behaviors, I mean, they came here for this is part of what I like to share is they came here for that experience. And maybe it is in their path to realize that that is not helping humanity and not helping themselves out, and to find their way onto a higher path is what I'd like to say all of us light worker type people are doing.
um, you want to tell to people who are listening to this podcast something?
I just want to say, reiterate what we've been saying is dig into yourself, look into your path, look into your chart, look into your behaviors, or even look into any of the challenges you've had in your life and find a way to find the silver lining in that. Pain is sacred. Any experience on earth is a sacred experience. So if you're finding the lesson from that and growing, that is part of the human experience, and that is not what the mainstream American culture tells people. They don't really teach you how to find the silver lining in a difficult situation, and that's what more of us need to do.
Would you like to pitch yourself to people who are listening to this podcast?
Yes, I have a website called theangelwearsprana.com, and right now on Facebook I have a community called the Angel Wears Prana Intentional Community, where I teach people about these concepts. I help wake people up from some of the behaviors and situations that they're in their current life, and how they can start taking steps to get out of those situations if they're ready to leave them and change themselves, change their vibration, basically raise your vibe. Everything I teach in my group is how to raise your vibe and what you need to do. And then we create a group environment where, whenever anyone is confronting their ego, it can be painful. And it's good to have a group around, because those of us that have confronted those fears within us, we can sit here and laugh, about some of the challenging things, because we've confronted those pieces of the ego that was ready to die. And, little things that embarrass other people, now you and I can just laugh at them going, well, that was a learning lesson, and we move forward, and now we can just laugh at it and be thankful that we rose above it. So, I want to use my spiritual power to teach other people to empower themselves. And like you said, not all of this is an easy journey. There's a lot of people on the planet right now having very difficult journeys, paying back karma from other lifetimes, and it hurts. I can laugh at it now, but I was crying earlier. I have not had an easy path, I will tell you that. Yeah. But it's okay, because you can grow from it.
Thank you for listening to my podcast. You could connect with me in arunsyoga.in, where you could see my contact details, including my phone number, my WhatsApp, and email ID. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes.